to go rip and run. All right, let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into that juicy stuff. How are we going to be making our money today? How are we going to be coming out on top? Deck, we got a nice little list of stocks right here, but which one is going to be able to help me, raise my account? I'm looking for something good today, Deck. I want to be able to treat my wife not to Applebee's tonight. I want to go to Olive Garden. Okay, you want that Olive Garden money? All right, let's see what we got. So let's work on our way on down, work on our way from the top to the bottom and see where we're going to be at. So we're going to switch over to our 2-minute time frame, and we're going to go over each one of these top gainers to make sure we have a great understanding on which ones could possibly rip and run. So first things first is MTP. Now MTP, this was the stock that I already traded this morning. This was like my morning spike play, but it is still considered the number one penny stock in pre-market. Now it's considered the number one penny stock for a good reason. Right now it's starting to look a little bit weaker as it couldn't break that 150 mark, but for good reason it is moving on up. And why was that? It's because it came out with positive results. MTP, January 8th, 2 a.m. this morning, announces positive results. You guys don't need to even know anything about the company, but once you see a 3-star word like positive and for positive results, we know right away that's a stock we want to get involved with, especially because MTP is a lower float at around 10 million in float. So that's why the stock went on this beautiful climb and beautiful rip. Now, it is starting to fade off a little bit. We do have some very nice support where it bounced off last time, right around this 120-ish mark. So we're going to see if we can hold this 120 mark. I know it's at like 119 right now, so it's trying to, it's testing this mark. But we have 120 support currently at this time with 150 top resistance. We're going to see if this play is going to be able to hold around this 120 area. And if the stock can hold around 120, we may be able to see a bounce back on up towards around 150. The stock does have a decently low float at 10 million. It does have a credible press release towards it with positive results. It is one of the best penny stock gap ups, so the 74% gain, and has room to run to 140, 200-day moving average. But if it could break it, that's what it could really take on off. So do I like MTP? I do. As long as MTP can hold some of its gains, I think buyers can come in on this play and really start taking it on off. I think buyers can come in on this play and really start pushing it once again. The only issue is, again, that 200-day moving average, and it already went on a morning spike. We need to be able to hold 120 so buyers do not give up on it. All right. What else do we have? WAFU. What is going on with WAFU? WAFU here. January 8th, 7:30 a.m. press release. We have WAFU Group Limited to develop online educational platform on this vocational college. So is this a huge press release? Well, it says WAFU to develop an online educational platform. So, has it developed this yet? No. Is it profitable for them yet? No. Is it absolutely helping the company out a ton right now? It's not there yet. It's to develop. So, WAFU, is this the biggest press release in the world? To be honest, it's not. Can it still spike? Yes, it can. Why can it still spike? Well, because buyers are aware of it. People are noticing the stock is moving on up. It just moved 80 cents. It's a low float play, and this stock may catch some fire. It's above the 13 EMA. It's above the 50-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average is nowhere to be seen. Now, where and how high can this stock be able to spike up to? How high can WAFU go? We have a couple of different areas. I think the best area would be up towards around that 425 mark, as that is what that old spiking high right here, and I think that would be the best money line. That would be like the ultimate goal to get up to today on WAFU. That would be that 425 mark. Where is it going to have some resistance starting off? Well, there is going to be some resistance right around this $3 mark starting on off. $3 and some slight resistance as well at around that 350, as that's the top of this, upper shadow. So, if I had to break this down a little bit, we're going to put this in a lighter red because that's going to be light resistance. 350 is going to, I think, be a little bit of a stronger resistance line, especially if it keeps moving on up. And the overall money line, the profit area you want to get up to is 425. Right? We have our highs on 425 right here. We have some highs on 425 right around this area right here. So this is going to be the area that I think, WAFU, if it catches that fire, that's where you want to be able to push that stock up to. So WAFU, that one definitely has some potential to be able to move on up. What else keeps kind of dropping down to our board right here? PIXY. PIXY keeps dropping down on our board because the scanners in pre-market are set for anything from 25 cents to $25. So whenever PIXY drops beneath $25, it keeps popping up as the number one top gainer. And PIXY is a stock we need to be looking at. People are saying, hey, is this an 887,000 in float stock? Yahoo Finance may not have it, but I believe it is an under 1 million in float play now. And why is that? Well, because it just had a reverse stock split. So I know if you go over to Yahoo Finance, it may say something different, but PIXY just had a reverse stock split about 3 weeks ago, which lowered its float. PIXY also came out with a press release this morning talking about having a $20 million contract. So they just closed a contract worth $20 million. Again, keywords look for in hot press releases. A 2-star word right here. What do we have? We have the word contract. And we also have a 1-star word that says any large sum of money. So immediately, again, to make it as simple as possible for us, what do we have? We have 2-star word, contract, 1-star word, any large sum of money. $20 million is pretty large to me. That gives our credibility on why the stock is up. On top of that, we had a reverse stock split about 3 weeks ago that allowed the stock to lower its float. So we have a low float with good news, leading to a very strong and very big gap up, right? So it all makes sense. It all makes sense on this play. Now the stock is currently at $24. Where can you get in on this play to make it as simple as possible? The line's already here. The 200-day moving average would be your best support line. The 200-day moving average is right at 21 bucks. We can also look at the pass right here. Look at the pass right here, where it came up to 21 bucks and got denied, and 21 bucks and got denied, and 21 bucks and got denied, and hit 21 bucks here and got denied, and 21 here and got denied, and 21 here and got denied, and a small little bounce play at 21. Old resistance, old support lines, it's all going to hold up as new support as well, or current support, as PIXY is going to definitely look for possibly that $21 bounce. Even yesterday in after hours, $21 came on down, $21. We broke $21, got a nice spike. Little again drops down towards around $20 before, or $21 before it started moving its way back on up. So PIXY, something we need to always be watching. This is considered the number one top gainer, but it is bigger in a bigger stock at $25 per share. $500,000. Thank you for the link showing the reverse stock split. So I appreciate that. So we've gone over PIXY, we've gone over WAFU, we've gone over MTP. CEI, we've also talked about as well, as this is going off of the energy sector, and we can look back really quickly at about a 10-minute time frame. Or let's actually go back to a little bit something different, 30-minute time frame, so we could see kind of what the stock has done, and we could see since the new year, since January 1st, we worked chilling at around this 178 mark, and over the past day or two, we have gone from around this 190 all the way up to 365. CEI is not a play that I really like too much, just because it has so many like reverse stock splits. Like when I look at this daily chart, I can't even see the price. Even if I try to make this big right here, I can't even see the chart pattern, right? And that's like saying the stock was all the way up at 860. CEI is not a good company. All they do is keep doing reverse stock splits so they don't go down to the OTC market, and that's what makes the chart look like this. Now, with that being said, are they a very low float play? Yes, but they also, again, isn't a good company, and that's why a lot of people stay away from them. Right now, we are having some current events of the world that are helping CEI start getting a little bit better of a spike, but it is a little bit more of a risky play. It's a low float play, yes. If volume moves in on it, it can move, yes. It really just comes down to basically how many buyers are willing to get involved with this play. But top three, $20 million contract, recent reverse stock split. WAFU. WAFU starting to get a little bit of fire underneath WAFU's belt, and we could go over towards a 1-minute time frame. WAFU, guys, very nice, very solid. Main money target is 430, already starting to push on up. This stock, again, doesn't have a big press release, but it probably has the most attention towards it. MTP, this stock had positive results. It already spiked. It is starting to fade just slightly at this time. CEI was the current event play. I also want to look at the previous top gainer of yesterday. The number one top gainer of yesterday, guys, was GENE. And GENE went on a spike from $2 to $5. We are having a slight gap down right now, down to 374. But if GENE starts breaking $4, $4.25, $4.50, everyone would probably run back in on GENE looking for that $5 break. So make sure you are watching GENE as well, as this is a previous top gainer where this stock could easily get the hype, especially if one of these other trades do not get the hype. So let's see what you guys are thinking at the bell right here, okay? Let's set up a morning poll. And we'll go with what stock will do the best today. So what stock's going to do the best today? Is the best stock today going to be GENE? Is the best stock today going to be PIXY? Is the best stock today going to be WAFU? Is the best stock today going to be MTP? Is the best stock today going to be CEI? Or do you think the best stock today is going to be something that's completely random, no gap up, just, not even on our watch list or any sort of, news, any news this morning? So what stock will do the best today? Everybody go ahead, cast your vote, and you guys will be all set, ready to rock and roll. Yep, I got you ready. If you want the keyword list, I got you. There you go. You can post it right there. So again, you have that keyword list. You guys can make it big. Take a screenshot of it. You guys can print it out. You guys can get it tattooed. Whatever you guys want to do to help you guys remember it. I think a great spot for that press release list tattoo right on the thigh, looking down, staring right at you every single morning, sitting on your chair. You just look down. Oh, great idea. Okay. All right, so let's give this a few minutes here. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to check over something so we're all set for this day. Give me 2 seconds and then we'll go over. So everyone cast your vote if you guys have not yet. And again, good morning to all. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Get fired up, team. Get excited. You never know when you're going to see the best trade of your life. It could be coming up right around the corner. I am already 1 for 1 on the day with, a trade I'm really proud of, MTP. Absolutely nailed that, 93 cents all the way up to 150. So I am already 1 for 1 on the day. That was just a nice early morning trade. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Share the results. Stop the poll. Boom. So we got not a clear-cut winner. No clear-cut winner, but 29% of you guys said WAFU. So 29% said WAFU. SP Trader, why only 200 shares? That's all I could get filled before the stock started taking on off. So that's all I could get filled before the stock started taking on off, and then it was all the way up at, like 120, 125. So I was like, yeah, I'll just see how high these can go. Market opens up in about 1 minute. We'll go with 2. I just want to type this out. Stocks to watch in order. So stocks to watch in order, guys. We are going to have WAFU, MTP. After that, we are going to have GENE, CEI, PIXY. You guys are not feeling PIXY. I think PIXY has some good potential. I'm putting WAFU on the top level 2 right now. This stock, again, WAFU, is you want to see this play up towards around 425. Bounce play on WAFU would be around 320. Okay? Bounce play on WAFU is around that 320 mark. Because that is the #1 play. So profit target, again, where we want to see this play is 425. Bounce play is going to be back down towards around that 320-ish mark. If this thing spikes right up to 425, though, right away, I mean, that would just be a huge, move. Right now, it's already starting to push. It's already starting to push slightly. Got up towards around that $4 mark. MTP hitting some new highs of the day. I'm going to put MTP on the bottom level too in case that one can start moving. Right now, though, WAFU guys are spot on. Right now, WAFU, you guys are spot on, as that is definitely looking to be the best place so far. The WAFU, there's 414. 414 just hit. Again, slowly coming up to where? The profit target of these previous highs. So we just came up towards that 415 mark, and that's where, again, some traders may start locking in. Traders may start locking in a little bit, and that's because we just came up towards around these highs. Does that make sense on why traders are locking in some gains around that 420 mark? Those are previous highs. It may try to push it one more time. Let's see. 411. Anything above 410 is a great area to scale something out. If you guys are in on this play right at the bell, again, anything above 410 is a great area to look to scale something out. If the stock does fall, I think support is going to be back down towards around either 320 or, again, it could be all the way back down towards around $3. We have a couple different areas right here. I'm going to switch up these support lines so you guys can see them a little bit better. I don't expect this going all the way back down to $3. I think we'll get a bounce play first. But you have two different areas, 340, 340, and 320. So WAFU, two bounce play areas. We have 340 and 320. MTP working its way on up. MTP trying to get up towards around that 150-ish mark. So WAFU, you're still good to go so far. Two bounce play areas, 340, as you guys can see, that's light support. If you guys are saying, Deck, where are you getting 340 from? We have, look at this, bottom lower shadow, top candle, top upper shadow. Okay, so that's why that line's right there. If you're saying why 320, that was the last area of consolidation with a red candle before it started taking on off. So 320 is, a bottom support line down there. So that's why I have, these two support lines if you're looking for that bottom dip play. So it could be 320 or 340. If you're looking to get a little bit more risky, 340. If you're trying to stay a little bit more safe, it'd probably be down towards around 320. But that's been, again, the most active play so far. You guys absolutely nailed that one. MTP trying to get a little hype, and CEI just popped up on the high of the day momentum scanner as well. Rapid is in chat, ready to rock and roll. Let's get fired up, buddy. You know it. Rapid's about to take over a little bit as well. Make sure if you guys have a little bit of a bigger account, you guys are following his alerts. A little bit of CEI action. WAFU, watch the bounce play. WAFU, first touch right here of 340. Just came down to 337. Let's see if this is going to be our first bounce over on WAFU. If you had the limit order set around 340, you got filled so far. Let's see if 340 is going to hold, or let's see if it's going to beat that 320 mark. And again, this kind of comes down to you at this moment. If it comes down to 320, I'm going to probably put in 500 shares at 323 and 500 shares at 320 for about 1,000 share order. So far, the 340 is holding up pretty good at this moment. 340 is testing and trying to hold up pretty good at this moment. I'm going to just, since I already traded once today and I'm 1 for 1 up in the green, I may just again do a little bit of a safer play down towards around that 320 mark. Oop, 340 though is the first bounce play. Just went all the way up to 360. Again, you're on about a 10-cent bounce so far. Maybe able to get a little bit more out of it. Let's see if it can hold on up. And again, right now, these are your two bounce plays. Again, if you don't, nail the morning spike, that's okay. No one cares, guys, if you make $300 on the breakout or if you made $300 on the bounce play. The only thing that people care about is you made $300. Don't feel like, oh, it's less cool to get in on a bounce play or something like that. Oh, I only want to nail breakouts. If you're late on a play, look to get on the bounce instead. So 340 is, definitely the support line that's been holding on up. I'm waiting for more of the crack down to 320. Crack down towards around 320 is where I'm going to look to get in. Right now, little side note, I know APLT, Rapid's looking at that play. If you guys do have a little bit of a bigger account, that stock is killing it. Shout out to Rapid, shout out to Iggy over there. So again, good job if you guys are on a bigger account. You guys can take a look over on APLT. Right now we have WAFU testing. WAFU testing right here. I did not just get filled. I did not get filled on my trade right there down towards 320. If you did get filled at that 320 mark, again, that's awesome. I did not get filled. I don't think it hit that 320 mark exactly, though. So I did not get filled at that 320 mark exactly, but did come down very quickly to that mark. No small bounce play up towards around that 15-cent mark right now. Small bounce play so far. Yeah, there it is. There's the bounce up towards around that 320, all the way up towards around 340 so far. I mean, that's a 20-cent move. You know, it doesn't look like much, but imagine 1,000 shares. Imagine getting filled 1,000 shares at 320. The stock's all the way up to 341, 345, 350. There's your bounce right there. 320 all the way up to 350. So I mean, it doesn't look like much. I get that, but that's a 30-cent move. That's $300. You know, just on a 1,000 shares. So if you guys did get that nice bounce, shout out to you. And again, there's that bottom bounce, that blue line. Again, we had two different lines, 340 and 320. And let's see if it keeps on moving on up. I'm canceling that order right now because if I don't nail the first bounce, then I usually cancel my order. So I'll look for another one. I'll look for another bounce coming on up, but I am canceling this 320 order I have right now just because I did not get filled on it. Okay? Good job if you guys did get filled. And look at bounce is still going all the way up to 360. Ah, come on. You got to fill me on these, broker. What are you doing? So E-Trade did not fill me again on this 320 bounce. It came on down, I think, to 321. I think that's why. I think it came down to 321. And but look at that. That's a free paycheck right there. Free paycheck. I love these bounce plays. I mean, it doesn't even matter. You get, 5,000 shares. That's huge money. That's a killer amount of money right there. So right now, WAFU still trying to bounce its way on up, trying to hold that 350 mark. MTP starting to fade on off a little bit, not really too much. PIXY is having trouble. Stay away from PIXY right now. So I'm just kind of looking to see what else we have. And again, I am not getting in, little side note, I am not getting in for the WAFU, another bounce play of 320. You only want to get in on the first bounce, right? Imagine you're out in Minnesota, the ice just got hard, you're standing out in the middle of the lake. You jump up once on the lake and you land back on down, you start hearing some cracks. You jump up again, you land back on down, you hear more cracks on the ice. You jump up again, you fall through the ice. So that's kind of how it is with support sometimes on these plays. You want to be able to make sure that you can hold the ice because you keep jumping on the ice, that's where it's going to start coming on down. So small again, about 25-cent bounce play on WAFU or 30-cent bounce play. That's great, but I am not going to go for another one just because that is trying to that could possibly crack the ice. Little heads up. Let's see. Right now, do we have any 20 counts yet? Any, main 20 counts? BIOC is the only play with a 20 count. Notice again, for traders in BIOC, 48 cents is the 50-day moving average. 48 cents is the 50-day moving average. So that's why that stock's having some trouble. And notice it's getting rejected right at that 48-cent mark. That's where it's starting to come back on down. So be careful right there. I think BIOC may be the only 20 count. SPNE, a little one. What else we have? WAFU, yeah, that was, so about 3 stocks that got some good attention towards it so far. SAVA, haven't brought that one back up on the map for a minute now. SAVA, thank you, Trader Joe. Forgot about that play, just because that's been falling the past, few days. All right, so we're good right now. We're good right now. So far, the best bounce play has been, WAFU for that 320 mark. Other than that, a good consistent play was the one Rapid was looking at over on APLT. That stock is starting to turn. And what have I been saying a lot throughout the day, right? If you're not first, you are last. You really need to take this to heart because these have been the market conditions, right? The only issue I'm seeing with this week is we've been seeing stocks spike and then crash very hard. So if you are not first, you are last. Look for a bounce if you guys are missing out. Same exact process goes with APLT. APLT just went from $30 to $40, now back down to $33. If you're not first, you're last. So make sure if you guys are going to pull the trigger, you're going to get in, right? And that's why it's fine if you want to look for a bounce. I didn't get filled on WAFU because it came down to 321. I had my entry at 320. So 1 penny off there. EROS. EROS could be a slow and steady climber. So I do like EROS. It's just 70 million in float, so it's going to take a while. Okay. YUMA trying to move on up. This is one of those energy stocks like CEI, right? CEI energy stock, YUMA energy stock, LLEX, that's probably moving up as well, which you can see it is. That's an energy stock, right? We have, as I already stated, there's some current events going on right now. As we know, it's in tension with Iran and some attacks that have happened. That is not a good thing, and obviously, we do not want any sort of war or confrontation. But the market will react a certain way to this. Certain stocks will move depending on which sector they're in, and we have been seeing crude oil and oil move very strong. We did see a little dip overnight, but we'll see penny stocks such as LLEX move on up, CEI move on up, YUMA move on up. All plays you want to be watching. Again, WAFU coming back down towards 320. As I said, the analogy, jumping on the ice. The more you jump on the ice, the weaker that ice gets. So we have touched that 320-ish mark about 2 times already. It could possibly crack soon because we've already been jumping on the ice. So be careful on WAFU. I do not have an order there at that 320 mark. Do we have SUNW starting to come on up? SUNW, this is a good play. Let's start turning some attention over there. I'm going to put SUNW on the top level too. I'm going to put WAFU on the bottom at this time. And why do I say this, guys? Well, SUNW is a play that could possibly get some volume towards it. And that's just because it has this great squeeze, 13 EMA, 50-day moving average squeeze. What's one of our go-to setups? What's one of our favorite go-to setups here? Right here, guys, right? We have the 50-day moving average, 13 EMA squeeze. Stock has room to run up to that 200-day moving average. I mean, technically, how much room do we have to run? We have room to run all the way up towards around 210. Then we have room to run up towards around 237, and then really all the way up towards like that 200-day moving average. Right now, SUNW, high watch as this one could possibly start getting a little bit of fire underneath its belt. Now, I don't expect this to spike very hard. Now, why don't I expect this to spike very hard? You guys guessed it. The float's not, at 1 million. It's not like a 1 million, 2 million float stock, but it is still rather low at 5 million. So this stock can pick on up, and you can see the mob starting to shift over here. Look at SUNW as, again, we're calling this one out right here, as the mob is starting to shift, right? 210 is going to be its first resistance line. Bounce play will be back down towards 180. 180, if you guys feel like you're late in, maybe put an order, a limit order, down towards around this 182-ish mark to get filled at a bottom for this stock to maybe run its way up towards around that 210 first line of resistance. So again, so far the stock already got a little bit of a U-shape, got a little bit of a pop, got a little bit of a climb right here off of the squeeze pattern, and also 5 million float. The stock also came out with a press release 2 hours ago saying that $11.5 million in new commercial projects. So SUNW wins $11.5 million in new commercial products. So we're just trying to, basically figure out where the mob is really going to go and where the mob's really going to like. Side note, WAFU, you're outside and playing hockey with your boys in Minnesota. What's happening? You just cracked through the ice, right? You can't, keep bouncing on the ice and expect not to fall through it, right? You can't, keep jumping and expecting not to fall through it eventually. So WAFU, that's why you cancel your 320 bounce play if you're not on it the first time. SUNW is going to try to set itself up on a little bit of a bull flag pattern here. Again, your target is 210. If 210 breaks, your target is all the way up towards that 235 mark, with ultimately, hopefully, if this thing ever caught fire, all the way up to that 200-day moving average. All right? So I'm just trying to keep everyone aware, of course, what's going on. PIXY, a little bit of a drop. WAFU getting a little bit of a crack. MTP is working still. MTP is working. Again, that was my trade this morning that I got in at 93 cents and I sold at 150. That was my best play, and I was able to make some good money over there just from a 93-cent trade all the way up to 150. Absolutely beautiful. Right now, we're looking, just want to take our time. I know sometimes, the market throws a lot of plays at us. And I just want to make sure we're completely understanding where that best spike is. So far, there hasn't been a clear-cut winner, but I am watching, of course, SUNW. Little side note, does everyone understand why I have support at 182 right here? Does everyone understand why the stock is getting a small bounce at 182? The stock spiked, ran up to 182. It fell and started coming back on down. That basically establishes what? Your pillar. It's going to basically be holding up now old resistance, once you break it, holds up as new support. So can everyone see again why the stock is bouncing at this mark? That is because, again, this mark was that old resistance line, right? We are getting a little bit of hype over on MTP. MTP, people are going to lock in profits right around 140. Now, in pre-market, MTP ran up towards 150. 155, I believe, was right around the high, and that's because of this old chart set up back here. 150, 155, 155, 160, 150, all back here at 155. So we're going to have 140 as 200-day moving average, and 150 is the strong chart resistance. If that breaks, from like back here at this area. Okay? And I just want to make sure you guys are understanding these charts. So MTP is trying to get a little bit of volume, and then SUNW, nice little bounce so far off of that 182 mark. So SUNW so far, nice little climb on up off that bounce of that 182 area. Let's see if this is going to be able to get back above $2. If you guys are in on SUNW, again, target's 210. Ultimate sell target is up to 235. WAFU cracking the ice. I'm going to put MTP on the bottom level too in case that one ever starts getting a little bit more hype towards it. Right now, SUNW having a little bit of trouble. All the reasons, again, all the reasons on why SUNW can spike. Squeeze pattern, number one, right? Squeeze pattern is number one. Decently low float on SUNW at $5 is number two, right? After that, good news on SUNW. $11.5 million new commercial projects, right? Solid news on SUNW. And a lot of the plays we have been seeing have led to, very nice quick morning spikes that have dumped on off. So this may be able to catch a little bit of fire. My stop loss, if you're in on SUNW, would be where? Pretty easy, below 182. I would probably go 179, 178. So if you're in right now at that 182 mark, your stop loss is 178-ish. $2 resistance, 210, and your target's 235. PIXY, maybe seeing if that could come on up a little bit. MTP, again, 200-day moving average holding that play on up. WAFU, crack the ice. SUNW starting to fall back down to 182. NEWA, what do you guys think NEWA is going to get up to? Where does this stock? NEWA, 6 million in float. Let's put NEWA on the top level too. Let's put SUNW on the bottom level too. We'll switch these out. NWA, guys, that's going to have $5, third strongest resistance line in penny stocks, along with the 50-day moving average at $5, right? 50-day moving average is right at $5. So right now, NEWA, this play is currently halted at this time. That's why there's no orders going through on the time and sales. No orders going through at the time and sales. So when a stock gets halted, obviously that shows that there's buyers towards this play. It just started ripping and running about 4 minutes ago. Now this stock is going to get halted in 1 minute and 23 seconds. Let's go over it very quickly. NEW right now at this time, I do want to double check. Do we have any sort of news? 19 days ago was the last press release I'm seeing right there. Because that's a big factor. NWA, any news? Any news? Come on, load on up, equity feed. Stop being so slow. Okay, well, that's being really slow. Okay, December 20th, how about a filing? Any filing? Why is this taking so long? This never happens over on NEW. January 7th had a 6K. January 7th had a 6K at night. So you do have NEWA 6K last night. And that could possibly be the reason. It's also, again, a stock that's 6 million in float. Just please look right here. The stock is going to get unhalted in about 30 seconds if it's a 5-minute hold. 50-day moving average is where? Right here at $5. $5 also third strongest resistance line. Watch for this stock to open up, quick spike through $5. Watch for it to open up, quick spike through $5, then a pullback. But do I expect this going above $5? I do. I would probably say maybe 515-ish or so to start with before a little bit of a pullback, and then it's going to consolidate, and then we can try to figure it out. This is going to get unhalted, guys, in 4 seconds, NEWA. If you're not, confident, stay away from it. Watch for a quick spike up towards around that 510-ish market. If I had to take $5 so far is holding us a strong resistance line. And why is that? That's because it is the 250-day moving average. Got up to 50. Where did it get up to? 510 exactly. Look at this. Look at this. NEWA high of the day. 510 exactly. 510 exactly before this pullback back down to 460. Let's see if it's going to be able to break so far. Let's see. But $5 is that 50-day moving average. And then $5 also the third strongest resistance line. Usually when a stock opens on up, you see a quick morning spike above it before you get that pullback. And look at that, 510 on the dot before its pullback. And if you're saying, Deck, how did you guess 510 on the dot? Like how do you know that? That's just a little bit through experience. Now NEWA just got halted on the sell side. So just like that, you can see it got halted on the sell side. It starts coming back on down. So yeah, a little bit of a sketchy play there. Not an easy play. But stock shot on up, 510, everyone started selling it off. And if you're saying again, how did you guess 510? Whenever you see, just a little heads up, whenever you see strong buying volume, okay? Whenever you see strong buying volume and a stock is coming up to an indicator, right? What do we know an indicator is? An indicator is detailed resistance. So when a stock breaks an indicator with volume, people are going to buy in. Now, if the stock just went basically on like a straight up move though, kind of like NEWA did. NEWA, not a straight up move, but you can see it's gone from 330 all the way up towards around that $5. It's gone on about a $2 spike in about 15 minutes. Very, very good. So whenever we come up to an indicator, we know people are going to want to be locking in their gains, and usually at the indicator is where the stock starts turning and falling. So if I'm looking at NEWA right here, the stock spikes on up with buying volume. People are expecting it to keep on going, but everyone locks in their gains. The reason it broke the indicator really quickly is because how much force it had going into it. But the moment you break that indicator, the moment you come up to that indicator, people get very nervous. It's really just that, leftover buying volume that people are expecting it to keep going, really more. You guys ever go, like, for, kind of weird example, you guys ever go to a baseball, basketball, football game or whatever, and you're just like, let's go Jets, dun dun dun, dun, let's go Jets, and then the whole stadium keeps going, let's go Jets, and now again everyone's like, let's go Jets, and then all of a sudden like everyone stops at the same time, and you're like the last person just standing there saying, let's go Jets. Okay, I'll sit back down now. Right? That's kind of like the last people buying for the break of the indicator. The people that are kind of just like left out there, like still thinking the chant's going on, but the chant like really ended like 2 chants ago. So, that's kind of what happens on these plays. Everyone's involved with the play, everybody's chanting, it sounds great, but then again, chant's over. Chant goes on too long. The stock trade went on its run and it starts coming back on down. Yeah, no one chants "Let's go Jets." I'm just trying to think of something. They say Jets, Jets. Well, I'm just not going to chant that. That one's too long. So what do we have here? VISL. VISL, a little bit of action. Rapid done with APLT. He nailed that spike. That was a nice morning spike called out by him. What about PLUG? PLUG, $4 top resistance. And again, just look at past chart history pattern. This one's a very easy one. Where do you think it's going to have probably a good reversal? Right at $4, right? We can see that. We look right here, $4. Really strong resistance. We flip that bad boy around right here. Boom. Right? So $4 not going to be easy to break. If it can break it, hey, maybe you could start seeing a little volume, but that's probably where a lot of traders are going to start locking in some gains. SAVA, SAVA. SAVA right now picking on up. How high do you think that one's going to get up to? 875, right? 875 would be the target on SAVA. This is a very strong resistance line. Even if you just go to the video library and type in 875, we have a whole lesson on how strong that 875 mark is. So I just want 875 rule. If you guys do not know what the 875 rule is, make sure, again, you guys go check out that video. Guys, I just get fired up right now. I'm excited. And why am I so excited? Just because it's 2020, and notice again, everybody's getting back into chat. Notice everyone is again, getting after this market. The holidays are done. I mean, I love Christmas. I love New Year's. I love Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. But what I don't like is how we have to have days off from the stock market. Are you kidding me? This is the best job in the world. I don't want days off. I want to work. I'm excited for Monday. I'm excited for Tuesday. People are like, oh, Wednesday, we're in the middle of the week. It's like Wednesday, let's get it. Right? So, I love how we don't have any more days off for a little bit. Next day off, I believe, is going to be January 20th, Martin Luther King Day. And then we don't have any off until about President's Day. So we do have a Monday coming on up that we have off. But basically all the holidays, all the ski trips, all people again, kind of taking days off, that's done with. We're here to trade. Volume is here and we're ready to get after it. Yeah, Linda back in the chat. Sweat shorts. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. My knowledge has expanded exponentially since I joined this room. The options has changed my life for the better. Hey, sweat shorts, that is absolutely awesome. What is that picture of you? Is that Golden State Warriors? Little GSW? Oh, Mavs. Okay, there you go. I couldn't see as well. There you go, Mavs. I like them. I'm a Knicks guy, but they stink. Mavs are nice. I like them. You got Mark Cuban on your side. You can't lose. All right, so right now SAVA got to spike up towards around 860 before getting a little bit of a pullback. Let's all get on the same page here. Let's all get on the same page here, guys, because I know some people are probably like, Deck, I'm a little lost at this moment. Where can I be looking? Where can I be focusing on? All right, so let's see what everything that we could be getting involved with at this time. Penny stock top gainers, top losers. Let's start at the top and work our way on down. We're going to switch over to a 2-minute time frame so we kind of see a little bit more. PIXY. Do we need to be looking at PIXY at this time? No, we don't. Again, the stock is fading on off. The stock isn't really getting a lot of big time buying towards it. The stock is getting a little bit ugly fading on off. MTP. MTP. This stock spiked up to where? Right next to its 200-day moving average. Again, this was my trade this morning. My trade was all the way back at this morning at 7 a.m. when it started spiking. I got in at 93 cents. I got out at 150. I nailed this whole entire trade. That's my trade this morning that I was able to get in on for about a 60-cent profit, but I did not touch MTP on this quick little move. It needs to break through 140 for buyers to break this play. WAFU. We know WAFU, the best bounce play so far was at 320. 320 bounce up towards that 360 mark for a 40-cent climb. The more you bounce on the ice, the better chance you have of breaking through the ice and falling into the cold water. Exactly what happened on WAFU. 320 is now holding up as resistance as that was support. LODE. LODE. This stock ran up towards $1 this morning, got a big drop off, and from there now is stuck underneath its 200-day moving average, and that's why that can't break on out. NEWA. You guys know what I'm about to say. Nice big spike on up. Stock started coming back on down. Fell right at the $5 mark. $5 is the third strongest resistance line in penny stocks. $5 is also the 50-day moving average. Since it had a lot of volume, it did break it for a moment and then start crashing on down. I've also talked about how many times about we have to be understanding that market conditions are quick spikes and quick dumps. SUNW. SUNW. This stock had a quick spike up towards where? That $2 mark. Why did the stock run up towards around that $2 mark? It had good volume. It had a press release. It also had one of our favorite squeeze setups with a 13 EMA and 50-day moving average. $2 is a natural resistance line. Had a quick little break of it. If you actually look at the past chart history pattern right here, let's get rid of this blue line. Let's get rid of this green line. And what can you notice? That 205-ish mark is actually right where the stock used to consolidate at. Everyone see that? So again, that 205-ish mark is right where that stock used to consolidate at. Then look at this spike, right? How high that upper shadow just went. So notice again, when you come up to 205, that's where this play has, that top area, right? So, every stock we have gone over so far, can you guys see the predictability, right? Can you guys pick up what I'm putting down? Right? You guys know it, exactly what I'm talking about here. And as we go on, it just like even blows my mind sometimes, when we break these plays down, how predictable, some of these plays can get. If we're looking at any WA and we're saying, oh, wow, that just ran right up to the 50-day moving average and everyone sold it off from there. Oh, wow, SUNW ran up to its old resistance and everyone sold it off. LODE ran up to its 200-day moving average and everyone sold it off. WAFU, again, ran up towards where? This old high right here, right? That's why I have this arrow right here so you guys can see it. Ran right up to this old high, right at 425, and everyone sold it off. MTP ran up to its 200-day moving average, and everyone sold it off. PIXY really never had a chance. But it's just so crazy when when we're new to the stock market, and we're all trying to figure out how do you predict stocks. Who remembers the first time they ever looked at a chart? I remember the first time I ever looked at a chart, I didn't know what I was looking at. I remember being so confused when I was looking at, let's say, Apple, and it was in a 1 minute chart, and then like a day chart, or a 5 minute chart, and a 10 minute chart, and I was like, I don't understand any of this. How is Apple this chart and this chart and this chart and this chart? And what do these lines mean? And how do I know which way it's going to be going? And now again, kind of breaking down these plays, it's elementary, right? It's literally, us, all we're doing is we're sitting in front of, this little box where it has the circle, the square, and the triangle, and we're just putting shapes through the holes, right? It's not that difficult when you guys actually break it down. You're just like, you say it in the most simple terms. Hey, how high is MTP going to go up to? MTP, 200-day moving average, drop, right? I'm talking like a caveman right now. Hey, how high is WAF going to go up to? Just look at the past. WAFU, 425, then sell off, drop, right? So, it just, if you guys are new, obviously, it's going to take some time. But, I get so fired up and enthusiastic just because I love it. I love how you guys can just make so much money in such a quick amount of time. So right now, ABIO trying to get a little bit of a pop. And as we know, what's going to happen, ABIO, 200-day moving average at 630. Yeah, exactly, Bond. It is like learning a new language, right? You got to be fluent. You got to be fluent in the stock market, right? And once you get a little fluent in here, you'll be able to work your way around, right? You may get lost a few times, when you got your little broken stock market, language. But once you start again living in the stock market, once you spend, 6 months, once you spend a year in the stock market, you start, getting a little bit more fluent into it, and then you can, really work your way around here. SAVA does have a little bit of a bull flag. SAVA 875 resistance would basically be where you guys want to get in on, and then you guys do have 810 support right now. 810 is where it bounced off twice already. That's going to be your support line. 875. You're asking why 875? That's just again a very common line. I posted a video on that so you guys can watch that. So right now, SAVA has a little bit of that 810 bounce, looking to see if this is going to be able to move on up at all, get a little bit higher. Linda, okay, Pierre. And we're going to see if SAVA could possibly get a little bit of a bull flag setup. If you guys do not know what a bull flag pattern is, that is a bull flag pattern over on SAVA at this time. And if you guys need some examples, don't worry, your boy gotcha. And let me bring them up right here. So like NADL, that's a little bit of an uglier one. So let me get a good example. NAKD, like this is a nice bull flag pattern. So you can see NAKD and CEI right here, like CEI, excuse me, stock spikes on up, consolidates, and then you get that nice move. So what's trying to happen right here in SAVA? Stock spiking on up, consolidating, and trying to get that nice move. So that's what a bull flag pattern is, right? We have a nice bull flag setup right here, trying to get this pop, trying to get this climb. So notice again the similarities before them, where these stocks are both trying to get a little bit of this rip right here. 850 is holding up as resistance, and you have bottom 810 support. Anything below 810 is going to be off. Now, I know so far this morning, it's basically been look at this stock, look at this stock, look at this stock, look at this stock. I know it has not been an easy, clear cut. This is the play, and this is the one we're watching all morning. Because those are the easiest days, and those are the best days where we really just say, hey, this is the best looking stock today. This is where everyone's focused on, and this is the top gainer of the day. What do we know about today? Today it's been, oh, hey, everyone, let's see, what MTP's doing. Okay, MTP's not moving. Oh, everyone look over there. WAFU's moving. Oh, but WAFU's coming down. Hey, SUNW's starting to get a spike. Oh, SNUNW starting to come on down. Do you guys notice BIOC? Oh, that hits 50-day moving average. That's coming on down. Well, let's check out SAVA. That has a little bit of a bull flag pattern. Okay, well, that's, having a little trouble now, too. So what does that tell us? That does tell us that volume is a little spread out. That does tell us that there is not a number one play clear cut in the market where everyone is looking at the same stock. We don't have that right now. We just don't, right? Now, it's been an awesome morning. A lot of predictability out in the stock market, but we have not been able to see stocks been able to hold on up very long, and that's why a lot of kind of the mob. And what does the mob stand for? The majority of buyers, right? If there's 100 people in the stock market, we look for like 80 to 85 all in the same play. And when there's a clear-cut winner, everyone stays on the same play. Everyone stays on the best stock. But right now, 10 people are over on SAVA, 10 people are over on PBTS, 10 people are over on PIXY, 10 people are over on MTP, 10 people are over on WAFU. You guys get it, right? So we are having a little bit of spread out volume. And if volume is spread out, volume is going to be more thin. And if volume is more thin, that means we're going to have stronger resistance lines and a better chance of a stock dumping on you. If we have 100 people running into a brick wall all at the same time, we're bringing down that wall. If we have one person running into a brick wall, let's imagine you're out in the park and you just see someone running into a brick wall, right? You say, "Hey, I'm probably going to, turn around and take a different way home. I don't really want to walk past that lunatic." If you see 100 people running to a brick wall, you think it's like some sort of, fundraiser. You're like, "Yeah, I'll join in." Right? So, you definitely you always want large amounts of volume because that's how you're going to break resistance. Right now, we still have SAVA trying to creep on up, but we are having a little bit of things spread out at this time. Volume is your friend, at 100%. SAVA, you starting to get a little bit of those higher lows. Is MTP still trying to creep right now? MTP trying to creep its way on up. How are the markets doing? How are the markets doing right now? We have the Dow up 43 points, Nasdaq's up 32 points, S&P 500 is up 9 points. We will also be doing a lesson in probably about 25 minutes. If we don't have any sort of breakout coming on up, as you guys know, it's 2020. We're not going the whole year without doing, lessons. Yeah, as you know, you guys are here to learn. I respect it so much that you guys are taking time out of your day to be here. We're not just going to sit around and do nothing. If we have stocks spiking, let's make money. If stocks aren't spiking, let's do lessons. Last thing I'm going to say is, all right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys are taking time out of your day being paying members to be here. I'm not wasting that time, right? Let's make sure we're learning and make sure you guys are getting an edge on the stock market, getting after it every single day. So we have two different lessons that we can choose from today, and we could set up a morning poll in a little bit that says, what do you guys want to learn today? We can go over the 25 most important points of stock trading. 25 things that every single trader should know, and if you guys do not know, these could be reasons on why you're not successful. Or we could be going over a recap of our indicator lessons, talking about what are the most important indicators to use in the stock market and which ones have the strongest amount of force in the stock market, especially in day trading. So we can either have 25 main points of stock trading, or again, strongest indicators in the market, which are important. And we could take a chat vote on that at around 10:30. Okay. So 10:30, we can go over that. Also, that is true. We do have President Trump speaking right around 11 o'clock, as that is something I want you guys to tune in as well to see what could happen or what he's going to state, because what he does state could again affect the stock market. All right. Also, little side note, as I always just like to throw out there, guys, usually 90% of the time we focus on penny stocks. When there are things that can affect the SPY, we do want to be aware of it. Now, again, listening to a statement from the president, I personally, again, do not care if you love him or if you hate him. I personally do not care what side you are, if you're left or if you're right, if you're Republican or Democratic. Here in chat, we are all stock traders. So again, whenever we see some sort of current event or whenever we see the president talk, we are only posting things in chat that are beneficial to other people talking about the market. All right. Last thing we need is people just going back and forth about politics that doesn't help anyone about the 400 other people that are here. So again, just always want to make sure we are stock traders in the stock market. No other and no nothing else matters while being in here on Tradecaster on Deckmore Trades. We will again tune in to see which way the market heads after the statement and see what's going on, of course. But on top of that, we want to make sure we're staying credible and beneficial to everybody. But that will come up at around 11 o'clock. All right, so MTP, let's see here, PIXY still coming on down. MTP, again, that stock needs to break through that 140 mark. If it wants any sort of volume, any sort of breakout, it's going to have to break through 140 mark. SAVA starting to creep its way on up. Look at this, guys. If you guys just noticed, SAVA, where did it run up to? 875 on the dot. So if you're saying how high did SAVA just run up to? 875 on the dot before that stock started hitting a little bit of resistance. Look at that. Run up to 875, come on down. You might be saying, Deck, there's no 875 resistance. How did you get that one? Right? Please, please, please. You guys have it right in front of you. You go to the video library, just type in 875. There's a lesson there called 875 rule. The 875 mark, guys, is a very strong resistance line. It's a resistance line that leads to massive breakouts, and it's a resistance line that's going to hold up very strong if there's not enough volume. Notice how the stock starts turning and dumping right at that 875 mark. So I'm going to link this right here that says 875 rule. And please, if you guys are a new trader, understand how important that $875 mark is. So you see that strong pullback. See what's that there. Scream, do you have an opinion on what is the safest and easiest pattern / setup to trade, even if it's slow for profits? That's a tough question. So if you're saying to yourself, um, you know, what is basically, the best chart pattern to trade even when it's slow? I mean, it really just depends on, of course, what setup is currently presenting itself. Um, I want to give you again different breakout patterns, but the thing is, when it's slow, you don't see breakouts. You see stocks, fall off of. Honestly, probably the best play you can see, even when it's slow, would be a dip buy off the best pre-market top gainer. So, so for instance, what we'd have if probably the safest play you can do is the one I like to do a lot. Let's say that this is where the stock closed at. The next day, the stock opens up right here. If the market is hot, right? If the market is hot, what would happen? The stock would shoot on up, turn into a big time spike, and then you can get a dip buy at some point before it goes on its next leg on up anyway, right? If the market is slow, Well, what's going to happen? The stock will fall, and if you look at, of course, past chart history pattern, or maybe pre-market, right? Maybe when the stock, was moving on up in pre-market right here, you can be able to find some sort of area where the stock should be able to bounce at, right? And even though it's slow, it is the number one top gainer, so you have volume on it, and even if it comes crashing on down, you'll still be able to make money where? You'll still be able to make money in this range right here. So, even if it's slow, you can always probably bounce play the top gainers of the day, right? So that's something that you would probably want to be looking at, which is a very nice kind of setup. Now, is that like a strict pattern? If you're looking for like, well, what's the easiest pattern? Like U shape, bull flag, red to green moves, mid candle breakout patterns, descending triangle breakout patterns. I'd probably say again, probably the one that I see work the most consistent is probably red to green moves. Red to green moves work very, very consistent. So I would definitely probably lean a little bit over there. 500,000. I'm gonna head out. Gonna watch that video. Got some stuff to do today. Thanks for everything, Deck. Hey, no problem whatsoever. Enjoy it. E21 Hana. What are you going to do different when you open up your big account? Will you be doing more options? Will you break up your orders? Also, what time frame are you setting yourself to make that $1 million? Thank you. When I open up my big account, and again, something that people were emailing me about, again, I'm opening up my big account on February 3rd, which is Monday. Okay. Now, when I open up this big account, I am not changing my strategy very much. I am still going to be doing the same strategy that I use now, which is play the same chart setups, try to be awake for news to come out, get in on these plays, scale in on a play, scale out of a play. But what am I going to do with it? Right? I'm just going to be buying a lot more shares. So some people are like, oh, if you open up that big account, now we can't relate to you. We're still all playing the same plays. We're all playing the same stocks. We're all playing the same, same setups. We're playing the same press releases. The only difference is I'm going to have more money in my account, so I'm going to be able to buy bigger shares. Now, how does my strategy change at all? Well, now I have to be more cautious on the fact that if a stock does turn on me, I can lose more money. But I also am very happy if a stock spikes in my direction, I'm going to be able to make more money. So I'm not going to be buying, ever probably 1,000 shares. I'm probably going to be buying at the minimum 3,000, 4,000 shares. Now, if we see a stock potentially like LMPX, right? And I see a stock at like LMPX where a stock is, $30 and it rips all the way up to $45. Yes, that's not a penny stock. I may look to get in on that play, and that may be one for, if people have a smaller account, they can't get into because that one's a little bit smaller. But, 95% of the plays that I'm going to get into are going to be the same exact ones that, I played before. Who was with me when I was trading that $80,000 account a year and a half ago? And I was having $20,000 months, $15,000 months. Every single month I made at least $10,000 on. And that's when I was trading an $80,000 account. Remember that if you guys were with us? It's going to be the same exact thing as that. I'm going to be buying shares off press releases. I'm going to be, looking to get in right in the morning when press releases drop and try to fill up as many shares as I can. And it kind of comes down to a little bit of early bird gets the worm. If I see a hot press release come out, right, on a stock and I can get in when everyone else is still sleeping, and just because people don't want to wake up, I'm able to be in early, I'm happy with that. Like it's like this morning. This morning I traded MTP and I got in on the stock at 93 cents. Now I was only able to get a few hundred shares in. The stock ran all the way up to 150. Imagine if I was able to get 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 shares on this play. That's a huge day. That's about $3,000 day right there. So I'm going to be able to have much, much bigger days. How long is it going to take me to grow? I can't give you like an actual number. I'm going to do it all. My goal is to make this my biggest year ever, right? So this is going to be my biggest year ever. That's my goal. So I don't want to be a person who sits on the internet and talks about making money. I want to be a person who shows the proper way to do it and teach you guys, actually help. Danny Dan, why don't you go short? I plan on to a few times. I bet you there's going to be a few times I'm going to short some plays. I'm not going to probably do it often, but there will be a few times, when I have my bigger account that I will short. CEI coming on up. CEI, little bit of this Look at this, guys. A little bit of this red to green move, right? What's a red to green move? Let's turn off pre-market for a moment, right there, right? Is that not a red to green move? Stock, came on up, U-shaped pattern, broke through its open. Then there's your buying volume. Just as I was talking about, what's one of my favorite consistent patterns? What's one of the patterns that consistently works? Red to green moves, right? And I really like that. That's one of my favorite patterns that holds on up very nicely. Now, as you guys know, right? If you guys look on Google and you start Googling red to green moves, it's going to come up from where it closed at yesterday. So if a stock, closed at, let's say, right here, and it opens up, let's say, down here, then a red to green move would be at the break of this area, the previous close. Okay? That's not what I call a red to green move. What I call a red to green move is where the stock opened on the day and then again, breaks through that mark. And I'm just basically saying it's going green from its open. So if a stock opens up right here, right, it falls on down, I consider this red. Now, even though it could have a gap up and be like technically green on the day, I consider this red. And the moment it breaks this resistance line, right, the moment it breaks this resistance line right here, from, of course, this mark is where, again, the stock starts shooting on up, right? And that's where, again, our big time buying volume starts moving on in. And that's where we start seeing these big old dollar bills, right? And that's a red to green move. And look at CEI right now. Perfect example. CEI, perfect example of that right now. So let's put that on the top level too. See if that play can be able to break through that $4 mark. So right now, CEI, we're looking for that $4 area to see if that's going to break on through. Rapid has some targets all the way towards around 468. That would be a nice little target area. That's probably from some of this past resistance back here. So that's probably from some of this past resistance right here. And we'll see if we can be able to break that $4 mark. If we cannot break that $4 mark, that's probably when we are going to probably start getting into a little bit more of a lesson. Because around 11 o'clock, I do just want to personally, for myself, you guys don't have to, I just want to tune into that statement that the president's going to make, just to kind of see what's going to happen in the see what happens in our outside world, our current events, and then also to see which way the market's head as well. As I bet you the SPY is going to get a little jumpy. So I do want to get a lesson in, and we'll probably kick off our lesson probably around like 10:35, and then at around 11 o'clock, I do kind of want to, at least for myself, you don't have to, but I do kind of want to tune in to what the president has to say, and then watch the markets to see which way the SPY is going to head. Right now, CEI is trying to hold up this $4 mark. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. As I said, guys, anything political, just have to delete it. Nothing against you, nothing against anything. Just always want to keep it stock related here. Right now, $4 our top resistance line. CEI, if it keeps holding up with a lot of these buyers, if it breaks through again that $4 mark on CEI, we may be able to see a possible hold. I mean, we do have a big lineup of buyers. Look at all these green. I mean, the buyers are stacking, right? So let's see if we can be able to break through. Small little bull flag right now. Small little bull flag right now on CEI. Basically the pop. And again, trying to get a little tighter right here. We have our bottom support near the open at around 365-ish. Or right around this like 370-ish mark, actually. And we're going to see if this stock can possibly squeeze itself to break through that $4 area. As we know, stocks that could possibly get hot around 11 o'clock as well, because they have to do with oil. And we're seeing right here, JB just post that oil prices jump above 100 is LLEX. right? LLEX, guys, this is having a green candle on the day, right? We can see LLEX. This one's been moving up since the tension in Iran. We've also seen CEI, right? This one, obviously, the one we've been looking at, that one's been moving up due to the tension in Iran. We've also seen YUMA, right? This one, YUMA, this one's moving up right now due to the tension in Iran. So different things that you guys can see. Oil prices will climb above $100 a barrel if Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, analysts predict. So elevated geopolitical tensions have sparked fears of a widening conflict in the Middle East with the energy markets participants and increased concern that the fallout could soon disrupt regional crude supplies. So what we have here, notice energy. These are all the stocks. YUMA, energy. CEI, energy. Right? LLEX, you guys already know, energy. And look at this right now. CEI starting to push a little bit. So CEI still trying to push on up at this time. So CEI starting to push up on this time, and then you're probably going to also be seeing LLEX and YUMA start moving on up, right? These all have to do with those energy plays. It's based off, of course, our current events. And here they are right here. I'll just type them out. Energy stocks to watch due to the current events, LLEX, CEI. Actually, you put CEI twice. I apologize. Let me delete that. And these plays are moving up just because of that. Does that make sense for everyone? And that's why it's important, just be aware of everything, right? We don't need to discuss, too much about things. Obviously, I always like to try to find that good balance and that fine line. But I do want to talk about how you guys can make money in the stock market. That's why I'm here. Dunder trading. Is there any way to predict the fake out for SAVA at 10:11 a.m. today? Well, let me check that out for you. No problem. So SAVA. The fake out at 10:11. This isn't a fake out. Again, where did I say the stock was going to get resistance at? 875. So again, Dunder Trading, if you're saying, I understand you were probably looking for that 850 break and looking for that breakout. But again, have you watched the lesson on 875? I've been posting that one. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm not trying to, say, oh, you haven't been listening. No, again, I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying if you haven't checked out that 875 lesson, watch that, and that's going to tell you why that stock turned. Okay. So SAVA, the stock broke through 850, yes, but 875 is a stronger than usual resistance line. All right. So make sure you check out that lesson. That's going to give you all those answers right there. So broke through 850, right up to that 875 mark. Just a very tough natural resistance line to get through. All right, it's coming up towards around 10:30. Let's just see what we have here. All right, what do we have going on in the market right now? We have PIXY. PIXY, do we need this stock right now? No, guys, not until it gets really above $21, that 200-day move.